Hi guys, so I just thought I'd do a tour of my medical units in my bedroom, seeing as though I did my large custom unit tour earlier. I actually already filmed this video, but it got deleted from my phone by mistake. Sorry that the lighting's a bit bad. I did previously do it in the morning, but I'm not going to have a chance to film this for quite a while, so I thought I'd get it done now anyway. So when you walk into my bedroom, I just have these Kallax units from IKEA here, and I have a lot of medical storage in that. And then as you walk down, I just have this set of 5 drawers, and it's a plastic set of drawers, and it says all my IV supplies in. And then I have a bin for my medical waste, and then I just have a little basket down here, and I just use it for bringing things up and down from my medical storage downstairs, so my medications, and we keep my medications in these little tubs. So there's one for morning, evening, and then I've got one for during the day, just so I know what I'm taking and I don't forget anything. And then this is the bag that I just use. It's from Tarte, and I just use it when I'm out and about, just to put my medications in. So that's that. So if I start off with my main medical unit, on the top I just have these medical detergent multi-surface wipes, the same as I had stored downstairs, and I just use these to wipe my trolley, which I store here next to it. And then up here I just have a Talk paper towel dispenser. I actually got a good deal on this on Amazon, so I bought this myself, as my home care company don't actually provide this, but it looks a lot nicer than having blue roll out on the side, and they're easier to get to, and there's less waste because you can just pull one out at a time. Also on the top I just have this bag. This one's also from Tarte. As you can tell, I'm quite into makeup. I'll just open it up. So in this little bag I just have a load of tubey clips, and there's still the silica gel in there. And I made most of these myself, but I got some of them off Etsy, so I'll just show you a few. This one's watercolour animals with a white clip and snap, and you can just open it up, and it's a crocodile style clip, and it clips to your clothing, and then you just coil up the tubing sort of in this bit, and it just keeps it all from getting tangled, and it keeps it nice and neat and tidy. So I've got a few different designs. I've got some Christmas ones, just some plain ones. This one's got glitter hearts. I've got a unicorn one. Got some Winnie the Pooh ones. Space themed, although that one's a bit broken because that was the first one I made and I didn't cure it properly. I got one with dogs on, and then I got some other Christmassy ones, but they're just sparkly. I'm not sure if you can see the sparkle on that or not. I don't think you can. And then I've got some other ones with glitter on as well, so I've got lots to choose from. So I use those for my IV lines and my feeding tube lines. And then if we just move round, I've actually labelled the drawers. I'm not sure if you can see very well in the light. It's changed actually what's in the drawers a little bit, but this is just a basic overview of what's in the drawers in case my nurses come, so they know where everything is, or if my mum does my IVs for me. It just makes it a bit quicker and easier to find things. So if I move this trolley out of the way, and just start with the top drawer. So if you open the top drawer, I just have my ancillaries and sort of miscellaneous medical supplies in here. So at the back I just have some more micropore tape. I have some of the Clinipore clear tape, which is like a plasticky tape, and I use that when I have a bath to take my line up out the way. I have some of the silk tape, the silk drawer. And then to the side I just have my CHG Tegaderm dressings again. I've got a stock of these up here as well for my dressing change days. We change my dressing once a week or more if it gets wet. And then I just have some of those temper dot thermometers that I mentioned earlier with the little dots to tell you your temperature. I have some of the pink medical masks, these are disposable ones. And then I have some of the ChloraPrep swabs for cleaning my site when we change my dressing. Down here I just have a few Bionectars. As I said earlier, I have a few different types. My hospital use these ones, but I get sent the Vigon ones from my home health company, so they're just, I have a few different ones in there. And then just the Syros caps, and they just have a little sponge inside. I've actually got loads of these, so I'll just show you one. If I can get it open with one hand. So yeah, they just have a little sponge inside, and it's filled with chlorhexidine, and basically it just keeps the end of your line nice and clean when it's not in use. So if it dips in the bath or anything, there's no risk of getting water inside it, even though it's a one-way valve. And if for whatever reason you did forget to wipe your line, it probably wouldn't be as serious, because it is a chlorhexidine in, although I wouldn't recommend that. So that's just that. Then behind here I just have another chargeable battery. So I charge this one up in case my pump runs out of battery and with power cut or anything, and this is also handy for out and about, as I said earlier, like the other one, but this one's just a single battery. So I keep that charged up, and then I just have a few various creams, because I have really sensitive skin. As you can see, I react quite badly to the hand sanitizer, and I also get rashes and things from my lupus, so I just have those there just to use as and when I need to. Although I do tend to forget because they're at the back. Then it's this green tub, and inside here I just have some plasters in case I cut myself, because obviously I need to stay nice and sterile for my IVs. And then I just have some bandages and some white lint dressings, just for when I apply steroid creams or anything for my lupus rashes or anything like that. So I just have that tub there. And then just at the front of this drawer I have a sharps bin, and I just use this for if I take my blood sugar with my blood sugar monitor, which I keep in my handbag currently, or if I have any filter needles or air inlet needles for glass bottles of paracetamol or other medications. So that's that drawer, and all of that's labelled clearly on the front. In the second drawer I just have a load more of these Sanicloth wipes, and these are just the wipes that I use to clean the end of my line before I access it. I go through quite a few of these, so I have 2 boxes up here, that one there needs refilling. As I showed you downstairs, I just have some of the blue nitrile gloves in case I cut myself and I want to wear a second pair of gloves under my sterile gloves, or if I'm using it instead of the hand sanitizer, because it obviously hurts my hands a lot. And then I also have the latex gloves in there, which are the normal white gloves. Under here I just have some normal medical gloves, so obviously they're non-sterile, but I just use them for when I'm drawing up medication or anything like that, and I just want to be a bit cleaner or protect my hands, because I've actually got some yellow stains from where I did my medications this morning without them. And then I think I've got some other branded gloves. So these ones are 6.5, they're smaller, so I actually had some burns on my hands, and so I had to wear these under my normal gloves, and I just hand sanitised on top of them, just so that I didn't get it in my burns. So I have those, they're a smaller size, they're not my hospital use. At the front I just have a load of the Purell hand sanitizer hand rub that I use to disinfect my hands when I'm doing my IVs, just between hand washes and glove changes. And then I just have some more of the micropore tapes. We use the glove packet, the inside of the glove packet, as a sterile field under my line, and we just use tape to tape that on. Then in the third drawer down I just have a load of the Posi flushes. These are the extra sterile flushes, they're 10 mils each, and they're just saline flushes, so they're just regular saline, and I just use these to flush my line. So when my line's not in use we flush it once a week, but the rest of the time we flush it multiple times a day. So I just have a load of these up here, so they're nice and handy to get to when I need them. And I used to also keep air inlet needles in here, but I'm not currently using them as I have plastic IV bottles, so I don't need to. And then down here in this drawer I just have a load of my giving sets, and as I said earlier I just use the Bodyguard 323 what are they called, micro sets, and we just have this little filter here, an air filter, so it filters out any bubbles, which is good because it means I don't get any bubbles in my line, which could cause a aneurysm if I get on air embolism in my line. And these are just ones that you prime yourself, so you press in the little button up here and it just primes. So there's my line, and I use those for all of my IVs. And then at the front I just have some of these extension sets, so I only use these about once a week, or if I go away I use more. and we just use these to make my line a little bit longer, so it makes it 50 centimetres longer, so they're quite handy to have, and you just attach them to the normal giving set. And then in the bottom drawer, it actually needs restocking. When I did it this morning it was a bit more full, but obviously I've done a lot of IVs since then. So I just have a load of the sterile gauze at the back, just in case one of my packs comes without, or if I need extra for whatever reason. When we do a dressing change or for extra IV meds, just to run them on so the sterile fill doesn't get all wet. So I just have some of the 10 by 10, and then I have some of the smaller 7.5 by 7.5 dressings as well. And then I just have my dressing packs, just to put in on my trolley when we do my IVs, just to make sure it's nice and sterile. At the back I just have some spare bags. They come in my dressing packs, and we just save the extras if they drop on the floor, or if we use an extra pack or whatever, just so that I have them when I go away, just to put my medical waste in, so we're not leaving that behind in the hotel. We can bring it home to be disposed of properly. And then I just have some of the dressing towels that I showed you earlier, and we just basically set out everything on the dressing pack, and then we put a dressing towel over the top to keep it nice and clean whilst I run IVs for sort of 15 to 20 minutes at a time, just so we don't have to get out all of the supplies a second time round. It just makes it a bit quicker and easier, and means it takes up less of the day. So that's that one. As I said, I store my sterile trolley here. I'll just stand up so I can show you the rest. I have my drip stand here, and in the video this morning I actually had my IVs running and my medication that I had overnight for my feeding tube, but currently there's nothing running because I'm just about to set it up, but at least it means it won't be going off beeping this time in this video like it did the previous one. So I just have some fairy lights at the top, and they're little stars. I'm not sure if you can see, if you'll focus. You can kind of see that one at the bottom, the little stars, and my mum just got me those the other day to cheer me up, and I think they're from B&Q. I've always had fairy lights on my stand, but they tend to break where I have so many different pumps, as you can see, so we decided just to put some at the top. And then I have this little E at the top as well, and that is that lights up as well, and I'm not sure where it's from because I've had it for so long. I've had that for quite a few years now, but I just think it helps to make it look nice and pretty, and a little less medical, and you can actually see the stars now, and they're on a rose gold line. And then here I just have a few different clamps. So I have my plastic clamps, and these are for clamping my line if I were to get a break in the line or a hole in the line, or for any other reason really. And then I also have a metal clamp, and I normally have two up here, but I've used the other one earlier on, and I just use these for my feeding tube. So if it gets stuck when I've got a feed running or anything like that, I can just use the two clamps and hold it at different points, and it just helps to loosen it a little bit so that I don't have to get a new tube if it gets stuck. So they're handy to have, and I have those on there so they're nice and easy to get to. I have my two Flowcare Infinity pumps, and these are my feed pumps and medication pumps. I have two because I used to run feed and medication at the same time, so obviously I needed two pumps for it to go through as I had it at different rates. And I just decorated these with some sort of sparkly strips, but they've actually started to come off, so I need to redo those. And I also used to have labels on which one was which, so this one said feed I believe, and then this one here said medication / water, just so I knew which one was which because I had different rates for both. Round here I just have a little wooden heart, and it actually has some medication spilt on it, but my mum got this for me, and I just think it's quite nice. It says, always remember you are braver than you believe, stronger than you think, more beautiful than you imagine, and love more than you know. So I just think that's a nice little reminder and something just to cheer me up if I'm having a bad day, so I just keep that on there. Then I have two of the single infusion pumps by Bodyguard, the Bodyguard 323 pumps. I use one for medication and then one for IV fluids and TPN, again just so it's quicker and easier to set up, or if one runs out of battery then I can still do my other IVs for the day, which is good. And then on the top one I just have this pump cover, and it's made out of 100% cotton in a unicorn fabric, and I love it. I actually made this for myself because my pump needs charging currently all night, so it doesn't run out of battery, otherwise it alarms, which is awful in the middle of the night. So the light stays on the monitor screen. I'll switch this one on and see if I can show you how bright it is. So that stays on all night, so obviously it keeps me awake and I haven't been sleeping well, so I decided to make a cover just to hide the light, and it's lined with sort of curtain lining fabric, so it's completely blackout, so no light gets through, because obviously you can see how bright the light is on this one here, and that's not very nice at night, so I just made the cover for this one. I'll just turn that off so it doesn't alarm. So the cover, if I switch it around a little bit, it's covered at the sides and the front, so no light can get through, and then it's fastened with Velcro at the back, which is slipped around a little bit where I showed it earlier, but yeah, basically it just has Velcro tabs at the back. I don't think I can undo them, but it'll fall off anyway. So it's Velcro tabs just to fasten it, so it can go as tight or as loose as you need it for your pump. So I can tighten it so that no light gets through, and again it's just covered at the other side. So yeah, it covers the pump completely, and then I'm not sure if I can do it with one hand, but it slides up fairly easily normally. So in case you need to obviously access the buttons in the night to change anything, or to do sort of the info to check your TPN's running smoothly or how long you've got left or whatever, it just slides up and then it slides back down again to cover it. So if you love this as much as I do, it's actually available to buy now on my Etsy shop, Lulabelly by Ellie. I believe they came out at about £4.95 each, maybe slightly less or slightly more, I can't remember. That's just what they came out around when I worked out the cost to make them. But yeah, you can buy these on there in a range of different patterns if you're having the same problem that I am. And then at the bottom I just have my other Bodyguard pump. But I'm actually going to make some matching covers or some coordinating covers for the other pumps, just to make them look a little less medical as well. And then over here on my bedside table I just have my daytime medication box. I have some other creams that I'm using. So this one's to stop my skin from getting infected where it's so sore. I have a few Tramadol or dispersible tablets on there, or soluble. And I also have a 10ml syringe on there in case I need to take any Tramadol or other sort of PRN medications in the night or anything, so they're easy to get to. And then I just have a water bottle which I clean, and then I fill it up with sterile water just for ease of use in the night. And this one's a Contigo one, and I can't remember who that's by. Doesn't say, but it's a Contigo one, that might be the brand actually, and it has sort of a flip up, I can do it, a flip up bit at the top so it's easy to hold, or it could even be hung up, and then it just has this pop open top which is quite handy, and that fits the syringe in nicely, a 20ml syringe, and then obviously if you wanted to fit a 60 it also screws off here, so that's handy, I like that one. And then I have my Amazon Alexa, and we have Amazon Alexas throughout our house. The main reason why I have one in my bedroom is so that I can ring my parents if I need to in the night and I can't get to my phone, so that's quite handy to have. And it's quite nice because I'm on IVs a lot of the day. It means I can just sort of ring down to various rooms in the house and just speak to somebody if I need something, because obviously I can't go down once I'm attached very easily. So that's really handy to have, and is a nice safety measure just to make sure that if anything were to go wrong I could call them quickly and easily. I've actually switched it off for the video just so that when I said Alexa's name she doesn't start calling somebody. But I think that's everything on my bedside table. I also use the tubey clips to keys and other things, so even if you don't have a feed-in tube there are other things that you can use them for, and I actually had this hung up on my drip stand just so that if the door goes and I'm the only one in, which isn't very often, I can find my key nice and quickly because I tend to forget where I put things, so that's handy to have on there. So then if we move over here, as I said, I've got an IKEA Kallax unit, and it's one of the 8 box units, and I just have a load of the drawers in it, and they separate each bit of the unit into 2, and then at the bottom I just have 2 of the fabric tubs, and I actually only use half of this unit currently, well, about half of it for my IV supplies. I used to use all of it, but now that I've got the large unit, we've been able to move a lot of my supplies downstairs, which is good, so it means they're out of the way and the room's less medical. So if I take you through what's inside there, so the top drawer just has sort of pump chargers and things in it, and then obviously my iPad, which is currently smashed, and things like that. Just they're easy to get to in the night if my pump were to run out of battery. So that just has a load of chargers and things in there. In the second drawer down, it's actually my dressings drawer, so I have a lot of dressings up here, and these are just my tube, my nasojejunal tube. So I'll take you through what's in there. If I just take it out, so I can do it one-handed, it'll be a bit easier to show you what's in there, I think. Let's put it on there. Yeah, that'll do. So in here I have a bag at the front, and this just has a little bit of everything. So wipes, barrier film, dressings from my line, spare transdermal patches, scissors, tape, pretty much everything in there, just so it's sort of a grab and go bag if I was going out for the day or if I was going away. So I've got some of everything out of my dressing drawer. So then in my dressing drawer I have some of these sterile gauze, just for using with adhesive remover spray to get adhesive to remove adhesive if I have a transdermal patch that I'm removing, or for my dressings on my face as well, because I've got really sensitive skin. And then I also have a load of this non-sterile gauze that I save from my dressing packs when I have extra, because obviously it doesn't need to be sterile for my face. I'll just move those out of the way. And then I have a load of scissors at the back in this really battered box that I labelled scissors. There's a load of different ones in there, and most of these are just from the hospital. And then at the front I just have my different tapes. So I've got some of the Hyperfix tape in various sizes, and it's just sort of like a fabric tape. That bit actually needs to go in the bin. It's just sort of like a fabric tape, and it's quite a sensitive one, and I just use that to tape my NJ tube to my face. And this one's quite good because you can also cover it with your foundation, and then it will sort of blend in with your skin, so that's quite nice. I won't put that bit back in. So yeah, I just have a few rolls of that. Then I have some of the MeFix tape, which is a similar thing. I have this in various sizes. I don't currently use this one as it's not quite as sensitive, but it's a similar type thing. And I have quite a bit of that one. Then I have some of these different tapes. So I have some paper tape. I have the Clini-Pore paper tape because I don't react to that one on my skin, whereas the 3M one here I do. I have some more Silk-Pore, and then I have some other plasticky tape. This is the Transpore by 3M, but I react to this one a bit more and don't like it as much. But that one's just in there, just as a spare really. To this side, I just have some of the Cavalon sticks, the Cavalon non-sting barrier film sticks, and I just use these before I put on a new dressing on my face for my tube, because I have really sensitive skin. So they're just a barrier film, and they're just little swabs, and you just put on the film and then put on your dressing as normal. Just have a couple of boxes of those there. Next to that I just have some of the skin prep wipes. These are a bit more sensitive than the Sanicloth wipes. I don't know why I've got some of those in there. Just so then when I change my dressing, I clean my tube with them to get off any other adhesive or anything dirty. And then when obviously it sits against my skin, it's less likely to cause a reaction as there's not as harsh chemicals in there. So I have some of those. I'm actually running low of those. Then under here I just have some barrier cream in a tube, and then I also have some of the barrier cream, the Medi Honey one, which is quite a good one, and in these little sachets, which are good for on the go. And I just use these if I get any sort of ulcerations or sores from my feeding tube tape, so they're just there in case I need those. Then I have a few of these adhesive remover sprays, and this one's actually nearly run out. I've got in there anyway. This one here I bought online. It's a no sting one. It's by Purely. And then I've also got a Respond one, that I got from my GP. So that's all my adhesive remover spray. And then in here, this is actually from a sample pack from Trio Ostomy Care, and this has my adhesive remover wipes in it. I prefer the spray, but these are always good to have on hand in case I run out of the spray, which I actually did, which is the reason why I've got them. My friend Lucy, who I met in hospital, she kindly got these sent to me as a sample from the company. She organised this, and the companies were actually really understanding and didn't mind sending them out, especially Coloplast. They were really helpful, and even mentioned about setting these up with my GP, even though I don't have a stoner. So I'd have a few different ones of those, just in case I run out of my adhesive remover spray. So just keep those in there. So they're all together, and then down this side I just have some waterproof dressings. So I have the mini ones. These are Hydrofilm, and they're just small waterproof dressings, much like the Leukomed and other things like that. So they're just Hydrofilm. I've actually cut this one. Let me get the taping it ready. I'll get a different one out. So as I said, these are just the Hydrofilm dressings, and these are 2.4 inches by 2.75 inches, so 6 by 7 centimetres, and they're just small dressings, and they're actually clear, but it has sort of like a 3-step process to peeling it off, so that you can cut them into strips and you'll still be able to stick them on, unlike some of the other dressings. So I know that IV 3000s you can't do that, and the Mepor films you can't cut them into strips, but these ones are quite nice because you can do that. So I have a box of those, and I just wear those if I'm having a shower or if it's raining outside, just to help keep the tape on a little better. And they're nice and small. I have some of the Duoderm extra thin dressings, and I use these if my skin's particularly sensitive, but they're kind of like a nasty yellow colour, and I'm very pale on my face, so I don't tend to use these. And I do have some other sizes as well, which are nice for taking on the go if I do decide that I'm going to start using these. And then I also have some of the bigger Leukomed dressings that I was just on about. These ones again you can cut into strips, so they're really handy to have, and these are waterproof as well, or at least water resistant, so I use these when I have a shower just to keep my tube tape dressing in place so my tube doesn't fall out. So then if we go into the third drawer down, below the tape drawer, I just have a load more of the Cow & Gate sterile waters that I mentioned about earlier, and these are really handy to have. They fit in your handbag really nicely, and they're just mini 90ml sterile waters when I'm out and about. And I also use these if I'm not having any medications with water or anything added, just so I don't waste as much water. So I just have a load of those in there, and then I have a big one in there, just as a standby in case I can't get downstairs for whatever reason. Sorry, I'm charging my phone. I've been videoing a lot today. So that's just there in case. And then I also have some soda water just for unblocking my tube if it decides to block, because this is quite good at getting the tube unclogged. So that's just in there as sort of precaution, just in case. And then the final drawer at the bottom, I just have a gig insert, a bottle and a feed in case I decide I want to try my feed if I'm having a particularly good day, because I've just started trying my feed again. Then I have some 20ml syringes. I have a couple of those because they're what I use most for flushes. I have a few 60s just in case I were to do a bigger flush, although I can't currently tolerate bigger flushes. And then just some 10s and I think some 5s as well in case I need some PRN medications. Next to this I just have a pot with some unpopped out syringe caps in, just for on my feed connection ports and things like that, just to keep everything nice and clean. And then I also save some of the dressing towels, so ones that we drop, or if we open too many by mistake, I just save those just for putting on my lap or on my bedside cabinet, just for when I do my meds, so they don't sort of stain if they're coloured or whatever, or if they drip. They don't get everything sticky, so they're handy to have. And then I believe the last thing with medical things in is this tub here. I've actually got a load of thread on here from where I've been sewing today for my orders. Oh, I just have to ignore that. So as I said, I have labels. I used to label my pumps, and I also label the unit, and I use the Dymo Lectra tag. And it's really good, and you can even add little emojis which make it a bit more special on your labels, and you can also code it. So I had some for daytime, nighttime, during the day, little emojis just to make it a bit pretty. I have some vomit bowls in there just in case I need those. in this tub at the back I just have spare batteries and plastic labels for my label maker. I just have a regular towel in there. I have my TENS machine pain reliever, which I don't currently get much use out of, but that's quite a good one. It actually looks a little bit like an MP3 player, so it's quite low profile and discreet, so I like that one. I just had some splints and supports because I dislocate my hand joints quite a bit, and I get a lot of joint problems because of my lupus as well, so they're just in there in case I need those. I have some urinalysis supplies because with my lupus I get a lot of UTIs, and also I get dehydrated quite quickly, so I've just got those in there. I've got my physio stuff, which I'm not currently using, so I've just got some bands because I've got some muscle wastage, but I keep forgetting to use those, so I must get around to doing that. And then I just have a few different glucose tablets to dissolve for down my tube, and then also some glucose liquid just to use if I'm hypoglycemic, just to bring my blood sugar back up nice and quickly. So they're just in there as well. I believe that's everything in that one. Yeah. And I think that's everything in my medical storage. So I hope you found that useful and picked up some sort of tips if you were deciding to rearrange your medical storage. Maybe I've given you some ideas. So I hope that was useful. I also just thought I'd add a bit on because I forgot to mention this. I have this plastic storage box, and I just store this under my bed, and it just keeps all my IV paracetamol and things in it. So I have two different types. I have the metal ones, and they're completely sterile and can just go straight onto the sterile field, and then I just have the regular plastic bottles, and I keep them in this tub, and it's quite handy because it has flip up sides, so everything's nice and easy to access. And one of my infusion nurses actually gave this to me when I first got my central line and was being transferred to a different hospital, so I'm not actually sure where it's from, but tubs like these are really useful for keeping stuff like that in. And then I also thought I'd mention quickly, in case you didn't notice, when I came out of hospital, my parents actually redecorated my room, and one of the things that we changed was we got some grey wooden flooring put down, just to make it easier to move my drip stand around and a bit cleaner, so we can wipe this down fully so it's nice and clean, and also it's a lot easier to move the stand on, with it being a smooth surface. When I had carpet, the drip stand kept actually tipping over, which wasn't good, and pulling my line, and so we just got this wooden floor put down just so that everything's a bit easier to move on. So it's wooden floor throughout my bedroom, and I found that really useful. And I know that some people aren't as fortunate as me, and it did cost quite a lot of money to get this put in, so it might not be an option for everyone, but I just thought I'd mention it because I found it really useful and wish I'd done it sooner.